Nerd On.
Hello and welcome to Nerd On, the podcast you didn't need but you deserve. We're here with a bonus episode, y'all.
Woo! Nice.
First bonus episode.
I love it.
I hope of many.
I love bonus stuff.
I like bonus things. Free stuff's always, I mean, it's free always, but like more free stuff is great.
If only it was like, DVDs. Well, DVDs, kids at home. There used to be DVDs and then like special features.
They're sort of like Blu-rays, but lesser than?
Yeah.
You mean to tell me it's kind of like they didn't need it, but they deserved it?
Yeah, I would say so.
A bonus.
We're here to talk a little update on Blizzcon. I attended my first Blizzcon this year. No, Ollie, you said you've been in the past, right?
I've been in the past.
I enjoyed
a while
it.
ago.
It was so fun. What a cool experience. This is my first convention ever as well.
Oh, really?
Never been to like a Comic-Con or anything like that. So I went with my buddy Nate. Shout out to Nate.
Where was this BlizzCon located?
Anaheim, the Anaheim Convention Center.
Fun.
And there was like, I think 4 or 5
4
different
million
stages. I think 4 or 5 different stages where all the different games were happening and stuff like that. And there were PvP competitions and championships, and there were areas where you could try out the new content coming out, and there were Q&As. It was a lot of fun.
And for those who are just joining us who are brand new to the nerd culture, some Blizzard games would be...
World of Warcraft, StarCraft are probably the 2 most popular ones, but the newer
Diablo,
ones are going to be... Oh yeah, Diablo.
Diablo.
Yeah. Actually, all of them. They make pretty solid...
I don't think they've ever had a flop, right?
If you count Project Titan, which never came out. But
Yeah.
Okay.
Overwatch.
Yeah, they do Overwatch, Diablo, Hearthstone, World
Heroes
of
of the
Warcraft,
Storm.
Heroes of the Storm, and they are in partnership with Activision for Destiny 2. BlizzCon is essentially like their very own E3. I don't know if you guys have ever heard of E3.
That's super dope.
Yeah.
What is it? Electronic Entertainment Expo?
Electronic, yep, you got it.
Which is where they announce all their new stuff coming out every year. And
It's kind of like how like tech companies used to like show off new computers and stuff like that. And then Apple was kind of like, no, we're going to do our own thing. We're having our own keynote. So it's like Blizzard was like, yo, check this shit out.
BlizzCon is essentially like keynote. Yeah. But yeah, it's the community was awesome. The swag was really cool. We got a free backpack with like patches and pins.
Oh, nice.
Swag.
I got free toys and stuff like that.
What kind of toys?
I got a
Collectible figurines.
collectible figurines. Well, the free one was a little thing on your hook for your backpack, like hooks onto the zipper, and it was a little Mercy.
Oh, like a keychain.
Yeah, a little keychain Mercy, which was really cool. But I also bought a BlizzCon exclusive Diva.
You would.
Which
Nice.
comes with, it's her, her suit, but a little Diva inside you can take out, and it's really cool.
Ollie's
I love it.
screaming on
Divas.
the inside.
Yeah, Diva's my favorite.
It's a little Funko Pop. I'll let you hold it. It's fine.
Ooh, yeah.
But so just to kind of gauge where I'm at with Blizzard games, for anyone who's listening out there, the ones I play the most, I mean, I play all of them, but the ones I play the most are World of Warcraft, Heroes of the Storm, and some Overwatch. I've dipped into Hearthstone, and I used to play Diablo. Diablo 2 consumed my life for a long time, and Diablo 3 was there for a little bit, but not quite as much as like Warcraft or Heroes of the Storm or anything like
Okay,
that.
we're here to support you.
Thank you very much.
Does anyone here play Blizzard games?
I realized I own every game in the launcher.
Oh, wow.
And now
Yeah.
with Destiny 2, I also own that as
Oh,
well.
nice. So you literally own everything.
I own everything that Blizzard's made, and I love World of Warcraft. I love Overwatch, and those are the 2 main games that I really enjoy.
Yeah.
So if Blizzard had a restaurant, you'd be like, one of everything, please? Thank you.
Yeah,
exactly.
Essentially. I think that's where
Exactly.
Ollie and I are with Blizzard. We're like, whatever they come out with, we're like, well, we're going to buy it. So there's that.
The Diva Korean pancakes would be my dessert.
Dope.
Everyone here has played Overwatch?
I have played
You
Overwatch.
have played it. Well, I'll start with you. Do you remember which character you liked the most?
He was like the gunslinger guy.
Oh, McCree.
You liked
I
McCree.
knew.
Yeah.
Tom? Who's your main?
I'm like edgelord, bro, like Mr. Reaper all day. But I mean, my favorite person I like to use is Junkrat, and then I really started getting into Diva. But they kind of changed things, so it's kind of time stamping it's Diva so much. So it's a new learning curve just to kind of like get good with her, because I really want to start playing with the new Mercy. And
She's ridiculous.
yeah,
I'm a Hanzo main. I'm fucking Hanzo main, of course.
Yeah.
And Ali?
Diva's my favorite character, but my main is Pharah.
Oh,
I love
Okay.
playing with Pharah.
actually, I use Torbjorn a lot too.
Torbjorn on defense. Yeah, for sure.
Torbjorn. Oh my god. All day.
I wanted to ask that because I kind of want to jump in to some of the content that was,
I feel like I'm a
talked
terrible
about.
person
Why?
because I tried. I own Overwatch. It's
Look.
on my library, but I just couldn't get into it. Just
gotta get the right people, I
I tried.
think.
I get maybe I haven't played
It's all
with friends
about
yet.
the right
Yeah.
character. Yeah.
I
all-
don't like playing it without friends.
Yeah, it's all good. I mean, I remember when I was young to go off the list of.
Why'd you point at me when you said young?
You're the youngest.
Because you're a nerd, and I feel like you played every Blizzard game. But when I was young, the first Blizzard game I ever played was StarCraft. And so, like for me, all my friends were playing that, as well as like Command and Conquer, Red Alert. So all these like games where you're having to play and like resource manage and like build bases and like attack people.
Yeah,
and
I
all
was
that
a
stuff.
World of Warcraft 2 guy.
Okay.
I
There it is.
loved that game.
World of Warcraft 2 is, or Warcraft.
You mean
2.
Warcraft 2, yeah.
Warcraft 2.
Warcraft 3.
So you
Sorry.
should-
Sorry.
He should really get into like Hero of the Storm, like because it uses the
Oh, you
heroes
would
of
love
all
Heroes. That's
different.
another free game you can download, Josh. Just
Oh,
it
man.
runs on Mac.
It literally is like League
They're
of Legends,
half-hour
but,
games tops, and then you're
but
out.
you're using the characters from all the Blizzard franchise. It's like Smash Bros, but League of Legends.
Yeah.
For everybody at home, I have a confession to make. I learned only, what would you say, 15 minutes ago
Probably
that
less.
probably less that
That
World of Warcraft was available for Mac.
Yeah.
And
He'll be joining us.
yeah.
He learned about
that.
He learned about an hour ago that BlizzCon was actually a thing.
Yeah, right.
He keeps talking about this thing and he wants to do a whole episode devoted to it. Weird.
But I want to jump into Overwatch and talk about the new character, Moira.
Moira.
Has anyone here checked her out?
Moira.
No.
I've seen
All
some
right.
stuff.
She is
Support.
ridiculous. She's a support character, which was desperately needed within the game.
So for those who haven't played Overwatch, and a lot of games where, I guess in MMORPGs, really you have DPSs,
More, yeah.
tanks,
There's roles.
roles,
Roles, yeah.
You have tanks, defenses, supports, and in Overwatch, usually you're in teams all the time, and your composition of the team really depends on your success. Well, your success really depends on the composition.
Yeah.
And so you could have a whole team of DPS, which is damage per second, and shoot them all up. But then the moment someone uses their super or an ultimate move,
You're screwed.
You're all dead. There's no one that's going to heal you. There's no one that's going to save you.
Because you're squishy.
Yeah, if you don't have any tanks, then there's no one taking all those hits.
Because it's
So,
objective based and it's much slower time to kill. So staying alive is important and strategizing
right.
and all that stuff.
No, we have friends that are always like, man, you got to play it. And I haven't had the right group to play with.
You will.
Yeah.
It'll happen.
But Moira, she's a support or a healer. Ish. She
Ish.
is. I talked to a lot of people at BlizzCon. I didn't get to play as her personally, even though you could have. I waited in the lines for the Warcraft content and the Hearthstone content. But what a lot of people were saying is that while she is a healer or support, she would be what's called a secondary support. So she doesn't do a whole lot of healing.
you don't want her to be the main healer.
Right, because she can't heal through a lot of stuff, but she does a lot of damage. So to make up for that, she has a lot of cool things, but her main heroic ability or her ulti is this beam that she shoots out of her hands that simultaneously damages and heals whoever's in it. So let's
It's
say
literally Kamehameha. It's
Yeah,
a
it's
Kamehameha that if you're on her team, you cool. You ain't on her team, you die.
yeah, and so what it is this beam that's purple, which is damage, and yellow, which is healing.
It's
And let's
very
say you're
similar
in
to Zenyatta, and Zenyatta has 2 orbs too.
right.
Yeah, I wanted to, I
Yeah.
wanted to equate it to like maybe it's like a Zenyatta ish,
Sort of, yeah.
maybe like dialed more.
It's Zenyatta ranged. Because
More
the thing
support.
is, she could throw the orbs, and one orb will heal. The orb will just heal teammates and kill and
Yeah.
do damage.
And she has a blink ability where she
Yeah,
can like
which is like
teleport.
Tracer, and Tracer is a damaged person. So
stupid.
like people can try to snipe, but then she'll just blink out, and it's kind of ridiculous.
But her ulti, so let's say you're in a group and you're fighting some of the enemy team side by side, like with,
let's say
Reinhardt.
you're moving.
Reinhardt, I almost said. Reinhardt. That's what we call him.
You're
Reinhardt.
escorting the payload, right? You got your team on the payload. You got a Reinhardt in front of you.
So her ability comes in handy because she can just shoot it at that mob and it'll automatically heal her allies and damage the enemies within it. It's just stupid. But she looks like a lot of fun. She looks like a really interesting character. What did you get from it, from what you saw?
Well, I'm kind of just comparing it. Like every time we have a new character, there's always a bunch of nerfs would happen. And if you're not familiar with the terminology of nerf, it's pretty much whenever they like a Nerf gun, they kind of soften the blows and they kind of have to debuff this person. So I'm thinking of like Doomfist and how his ultimate was like dropping down.
Meteor
striking
smash.
uppercut, whatever it's called. And they had to like lower the range. And they always do on Overwatch. They always use the PTR, which is their
Public test realm.
Yeah, which is their server that they allow to see what's happening with it. And then I'm thinking of as well as Orisa. And the whole
Or Chorizo, as I call her. I have nicknames for all the characters, just so you know.
as well as Sombra and Ana. Those are all the new characters that have come out since Overwatch has been in, which is great. Which I love that they keep expanding the list, the roster of people.
Right.
And just kind of really thinking of this one, there hasn't been a new character that kind of serves two purposes. And the thing that's what you want is like you have a character that I use a lot. It's like Junkrat. Junkrat's technically is a
It's defensive.
defense character, but
Defensive DPS.
you can now with his new buff where he can throw 2 trip mines or land mines, whatever. Like he could do a lot of damage. He could literally one shot 2 people at once,
Yeah, it can be an assault character.
which is crazy. Which is really cool. And I really just for me, I really like how we'll see how it happens once it's released and then once they do the initial nerf. But we'll see how well this tends to be. Because the thing is, if they don't do any changes with it, right? Like let's say they keep how strong, because she could do a lot of damage. She could just throw 1 orb and can kill somebody. And she's really
that strong?
Yeah.
They have an orb?
Like
Wow.
there's really cool
It's not an
videos.
instant kill.
It's like
It'll
a 200 or
it'll
something.
drain.
There's
It'll
really
drain.
cool videos where like you see her like you see a test where McCree is like standing and then she just throws the orb and then there's another McCree that's just a teammate, heals him, goes next to the other McCree, kills that McCree.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And so there's
Damage
really
over time.
It's crazy compared to like Zenyatta where it just like doubles the damage, right? But this is actually going to do damage to this person. And just thinking like that, let's say in a perfect world they keep all that. Moira's going to be squishy as fuck, which means squishy is a character that have low health
They're
and they
squishy.
get killed.
They
They get killed.
Yeah, you poke them, they die.
I want to know how it's going to affect Ana's like meta or whatever. Like, are people going to stop picking her? Is it going to affect her? Does she play a separate purpose?
I don't know if they would.
I remember recently they changed Ana too, and they made her gun when she heals people not as high, and then one of her abilities where
Her
she could
splash.
throw her splash healing thing. Like lowered the values of that too.
Right.
And there was a really funny meme that was like, just take the other eye because she has a patch.
But I don't think so because she's more ranged and Moira needs
More
to be a
ranged.
little closer.
Got
Yeah.
it. Okay.
The other thing that's coming to Overwatch is a new map that I'm actually really excited to play at. Blizzard World.
Oh yeah.
It's their take as if Disneyland was Blizzard instead. So it's got
Blizzardland.
little areas from all the different games inside of it that you get to run through.
It looked really cool.
It looked super fun.
Yeah.
Like I remember being in the crowd when they announced it. Everyone went nuts because we're next to Disneyland, and they were just started talking. And they're like, "Who here is going to Disneyland?" Everyone's like, "Yeah, I got a season pass. I'm going." And they were like, "What if Blizzard had their own theme park?" And people got really excited that they were going to have their own theme park, and they had to calm down. But then they announced it, and people went nuts. It looks super fun, just like a theme park with instead of Disneyland, Blizzard World,
Blizzard
right over
World,
the top
yeah.
of it.
It looked really neat.
I know before that they had like what was the new mask? Junkerton. Like, I never got that, but I mean, like, I think it's really cool when like, and see, this is what I guess me and Corey always like kind of complain about sometimes too. Is just like you buy a game and you get more of it, and the developers keep building more of it. So that's always fun to see that they have these conventions, they listen to it, they have the PTR, they have the forums, and the community base gets so strong because. I'm assuming you've met some really kind of cool people.
Oh yeah, I got a whole bunch of battle tags for Blizzard to play some games with some new friends. So I'm really excited about that.
And Blizzard is sort of like, at this point, mastered what they need to do to keep people playing their games.
Yeah, that's not an issue with them anymore.
Yeah.
And they've become really good at it too, as far as they used to like not tell you deadlines ever because they never wanted to like limit themselves. They'd always be like, it's ready when it's ready. But like the Warcraft stuff looks pretty great. And the guy was talking in the Q&A. He's like, we're pretty on target for a lot of stuff now, which is great.
That's cool.
Moving right along, since this is a shorter episode, I want to just kind of highlight. There's a lot of this information on Blizzard's website for more in-depth stuff. A lot of videos of them talking about Q&As. One last thing about Overwatch. There's a brand new cinematic they premiered at Blizzcon for Reinhardt, which is pretty fantastic.
That was awesome.
I shed a little tear.
Eichenwald, the map will never be the same.
Never.
When you watch that. And obviously that's a reused meme and cliche thing by this point, but watch it. I love all the cinematics. If you just want something cool to watch, like great action or good story.
Watch all of them.
Like, and that's one thing that we talked about earlier was like Blizzard knows how to do their cinematics, and Blizzard kind of just knows how to sell games and make good content continually. I feel like Overwatch is more of like, can we do a first person? Let's try. Yeah, we can do a first person shooter. But for me, after watching all the Overwatch cinematics, and I think a big critique that Overwatch gets is that like all of its content's usually online. You don't really have an in-game story because you're just going into matches and matches. But they write them into the character. They write them into when you're working with different compositions with the characters. But I'd be super interested in watching like an Overwatch movie.
Oh
if they
yeah,
made it.
absolutely.
Oh my god!
Yeah.
Like it's so good because it's like it kind of feels like there's this entire world that they built around, and then they put you in a certain time frame in it. And certain events that they've had like over like their anniversary, they went back in time
And they dictate the characters that come out too.
Yeah,
which is really cool.
Super good.
I didn't know much about Overwatch at all before it came out, and the cinematics were like Pixar quality, or I would like to say even like beyond Pixar quality, like dragons. If anyone out there wants to see something really cool, just go look up dragons, like Overwatch dragons. It's like the best like 7 minutes or whatever.
My god.
So good.
Moving on to Hearthstone. Or actually, I'll touch on StarCraft 2 real quick because it was a really short kind of presentation. Not too much, no new content coming, but they are making StarCraft 2 free to play.
Ooh.
Completely.
Oh, that's cool.
So you can just download that now.
Nice.
And I think that's now, I believe, or soon. But
Is that all the expansions and all that stuff?
Oh, that's fun.
I don't know if the expansions come with it, but the base game is free, and then if you play with other people who have the content, it automatically like lets you use it while you're playing with them.
God, that's fun.
There's new co-op missions coming as well with some new co-op commanders. Those are going to be free. They used to cost money in the past, but they're these like cooperative missions you play against the computer. It's a lot of fun. If you've ever played StarCraft, the co-op missions are definitely the way to go, for me at least.
Yeah.
That's kind of it for StarCraft. There was no Diablo updates. There was an experience that you could do at BlizzCon. Again, I waited in line for Warcraft, so I passed it. But Hearthstone has a new expansion coming out next month called Kobolds and Catacombs. Now, kobolds are these little things in Warcraft. They're like these little Weasley guys who go into the tunnels and dig for treasure, and they have these little candles on the top of their head for light. And so this expansion is a treasure expansion. So anyone who plays Hearthstone, it is a trading card game, or not a trading card game because you can't trade, but it's
an online TCG.
Yeah, right. It's a 1v1 card game battling system. And you collect cards, you open packs, all that kind of stuff. There's different types of cards. There's creatures, there's spells, there's heroes. But what's coming out is these artifacts that are in the meta right now. Absolutely absurd. My buddy Nate plays Hearthstone. Shout out to Nate. Plays Hearthstone. That's pretty much the only Blizzard game he plays right now. And like he plays in the arena, and he got rank 4, and the highest you can go is like 1. And I bet you have to be like top in the world.
Oh wow.
So he plays a lot, and he's the reason I got into it the last 4 days. He built me this stupid druid deck that anyone who plays and is listening knows how cheap that deck is. Everyone talked about it at BlizzCon. In fact, there's this card in my druid deck called Ultimate Infestation, and one of the questions the guy asked the developers is he printed out the card, held it up, and went, "What are you doing about this? Because it's disheartening." And so that's the deck I run. But the artifacts that are coming out are such things. There's a creature that comes out that destroys your deck. Jesus. So if you play it, it says destroy opponent's deck. So that means they're left with the cards that they have in their hand.
That's amazing.
That's it.
I'm gonna jump in. I've never played Hearthstone, even though Corey has tried to get me onto it. But I was a big Yu-Gi-Oh fan.
Yeah.
And playing any type of card game. And then my big thing is always like deck destruction. Everything that makes the person lose their deck is the best thing of all. Because the thing is,
it's like magic land destruction. You're an asshole.
Because the thing is like, why am I going to fight you on the field? I'm going to fight you in your mind, baby.
Oh man,
you just lost your resources.
I'm not excited about that.
Oh.
Within Hearthstone, just for a little backstory on this, there's different decks depending on the classes. So there's like Paladin, Priest, Warlock,
I like a variety of my
Druid
decks.
Type of deck, and they all do different things that are in line with what that class is in Warcraft. So each class is getting legendary weapons, and we got to see one for the Priest. And what it does is if you cast 3 spells within the same turn, it just summons a 5/5 dragon, which is like really fucking powerful in that game. You can just do that every turn. Just 3 spells, you get another dragon, 3 spells, you get another dragon. So it looks like this next expansion is going to be pretty broken, if I had to define it.
Interesting.
But we'll see. We'll see
It's not broken if both sides can do it.
We'll see how it's played.
I mean, comparatively to other like trading card games, it's like you get really like dismal like expansions where it's kind of like,
Yeah.
my old cards are really good. And then you get to so many packs where it's kind of like, wow, all the old cards are really fucking broken. So we need to like,
Fix it.
we need to like make those forbidden and make only the new cards that are kind of shitty.
Well, the beauty with the online trading game or online card game is they can nerf cards and still have you keep them. And there is a thing they do where if they nerf it, they give you an opportunity to trade it in for a ton of dust, which makes other cards for you. So they're pretty cool about it. So if it needs to nerf and you've spent money on it or whatever, you get it back, which is really nice. That's kind of it coming for Hearthstone. I know I'm kind of breezing through these. Here's the Storm is the next game I want to talk about because that's a game that's near and dear to my heart. There are 2 new characters coming to Hero of the Storm. One is Alexstrasza from World of Warcraft, who is the mother of dragons, and she can actually transform into a dragon on the map. It's pretty absurd. And the other is Hanzo. And it looks like I'm going to be a Hanzo main in 2 games, which is pretty exciting. For those who haven't played...
But there's
Heroes of the
different
Storm.
types of characters you play on Hero of the Storm too, right?
Oh yeah, I play all of them.
Okay.
Just because there's usually daily quests where you have play 3 tank characters,
10 characters.
play 3 assassins,
What
which
will
is DPS,
what will Hanzo be?
ranged assassin, so
Ranged
ranged
assassin?
DPS,
And then
Alexstrasza is a support character, a healer, a healing dragon that can
healing
fly
dragon.
around and drop healing fireballs and damaging fireballs.
I'm just
I thought you were gonna say
I'm just a
dropping
little
healing
brother
shit.
that's just like,
listening to all of this.
yay,
Yay.
this is fun. I'm just listening.
You'll get there someday.
and you're welcome too.
I am welcome.
Hanzo is going to have a lot of his abilities from Overwatch. He's going to have the scatter shot.
So is he going to do?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
What was that again, Tom?
You could just repeat that for us.
All I'm saying is actually a name of a Yu Hakusho character.
Hiten Mitsurugi,
Yeah,
which is
that's
from Rurouni Kenshin. But he's going to have his Dragon Strike, and Alexstrasza is going to have a lot of healing abilities. Like I said, being able to turn into a dragon is just going to boost her abilities. She can only do it for a certain amount of time, I think. Her healing is pretty great. I'm excited for both of those characters. Don't think there's a new map coming. The biggest announcement at was World of Warcraft at BlizzCon. The new expansion's coming out. So every 2 years they announce a new expansion. This last one was pretty great. I don't know. Did you get to play any of it, Ollie?
I did
What
know.
was it called?
This one?
The last one.
The last one was called Legion.
Legion.
So it was insanely story focused. So the expansion before Legion was cited as
Legion?
Legion.
Legion.
That's how I say it. Warlords
like a
of Draenor,
growth?
which
Yeah,
was
like
the
his legions.
expansion right before Warlords, is credited as almost tanking the game.
Wow.
Like it was so bad that people
It was real like this is the end of the game.
people thought it was like a lot of people stopped playing. I know I did towards the end of it because it was just repetitive shit.
It just the content wasn't up to snuff.
It wasn't. It was really PvP folk. Like in order to get the best stuff in the game, you had to PvP. And I'm not
weird.
someone who really enjoys PvP. I really like story.
Yeah.
So it was difficult for me to really get into that. And Legion was the opposite of that. Legion, you can get really good gear by PvPing, but you can also get it by following the story and doing the raids and the dungeons. And so I'm someone who's really drawn to story
Me
focused
too.
games. Right.
It's
So
like, give me something to be immersed in instead of give me kids to yell at.
yeah, right. Essentially, yes.
Well, that's what I like about Destiny and the Destiny universe is that I can focus a lot on story, and I don't necessarily have to do the Crucible. It's,
Right.
Sometimes
It's a choice.
Yeah, it's Crucible is fun with certain people. Like if I'm
Yeah.
playing with you, Ollie, or something like that, it can be fun. It passes the time when you're getting your ass handed
but
to you.
it's mostly about story, right?
Yeah,
And also,
yeah.
you never played with me.
Yeah.
It sucks.
Totally.
So with the past 4 expansions, I want to say, what it's kind of been has been, there's Horde and the Alliance, the 2 factions, and really every expansion at the end, the Horde and the Alliance have to come together to save the world and work together as a team, and that kind of takes away from the original game,
there's
which
2
was
factions.
like Alliance and Horde fighting for this world. So Battle for Azeroth brings us back to that. It's a entirely Horde versus Alliance game. So
Nice.
they introduced 2 new islands. One of them is going to be completely Horde. One of them is going to be completely Alliance. And then once you get far enough, you can set up posts in the other person's or the other faction's island and kind of infiltrate a little bit. The story, to sum it up real quick, there are 2 big player places. There's the Undercity in Lordaeron, which gets attacked by the Alliance, and then there's the World Tree, which is for the Druids. They're the World Tree, duh. So I'm blanking on how to explain it, but the Horde burns it to the ground. So right now we are at each other's throats. And if any of you get a chance, check out the cinematic for it because it's insane.
It looks pretty amazing.
So what's up with the girl with the eyebrows?
Sylvanas. She used to be a elf who was corrupted. I believe she's undead now and is one of the leaders of the Horde.
Because you're saying she was good back in the day, right?
Yeah, and her sister actually appears in this game, who we haven't seen before.
So was there a time many expansions ago that you actually saw the good version of this character or no?
Not that I remember. Not in my time. I started during Burning Crusade, so it may have been in the original.
And that's kind of my thing. With the great thing about like World of Warcraft, it's been going on for such a long time that all these expansions, like they've just built upon each other and kind of built this world, and years have gone on past each other and all that stuff, right? Too. So it's kind of just cool.
So yeah, you have Sylvanas, who is a hunter type character, and she turns into a banshee. Apparently, that's a new thing. We've never seen that before till that cinematic.
So that's a thing.
Everyone lost their shit.
It's a Go Super Saiyan.
30,000 people screaming their heads off when that happened. Then you have Anduin on the Alliance side, the little handsome-looking guy, as Tom said earlier, and that is the son of King Varian, who in the beginning of Legion was killed. By being abandoned by the Horde, who was supposed to be helping us. They just left him for dead. So that was really cool. So Anduin has to pick up his dad's sword and kind of lead the fight, and it goes from there. And there's a lot of cool things coming to the game. There's 6 new races coming to the game that you can be. They're called allied races.
How many do we have now?
Oh, Jesus. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11.
11. So now we'll have 17-ish?
I think so, yeah. And the thing about the allied races is they're specific to once you get to 120 with a character, which is the new level cap, you unlock them. And so they're character races that people have been asking for a long time, actually. So Dark Iron Dwarves, I don't know if you remember them from the game.
No.
They are these dwarves that just essentially went underground and didn't appear anywhere for a long time. Then they have the Lightforged Draenei, and they have the Void Elves, which sounds dope. I don't know who they are.
So why would people be demanding of a thing that has yet to been created?
They have been created.
So they're created in the world,
but you can't play as them.
That's what they're pretty much like. I want these NPCs playable.
Right. So on the Horde side, you have the Zandalari trolls, which are like the biggest. The thing about the trolls, they've been around the longest, they're the oldest race, and these Zandalari ones are like the epitome of it.
We're not talking about the internet ones.
No internet trolls. Zandalari trolls, you get to be the Nightborn elves and the High Mountain Tauren, which are big cows. So that's really exciting.
Big cows?
Yeah. The last thing I'm going to say about World of Warcraft here is they are bringing a RTS kind of mini game thing back to the game. So you said you played Warcraft 2. They are bringing a 20-player versus the computer RTS
real-time strategy.
Yeah, real-time strategy, fun. Warcraft 2 type of thing to the game where you have to build up your defenses, build units, and then take over their fortress.
Oh wow!
So I'm really excited to see how that's called cool. Warfronts. So
how does that? Was that like a on the menu is like a different part of the game or something like that?
It is. You queue for it. So you say, I want to do this, and it puts you in a team with 19 other people, or
that's
however
awesome.
big your party is. So I'm really excited about that. Of course, new dungeons, new weapons, all that kind of stuff.
What's this vanilla server thing?
Yes, World of Warcraft Classic. So I'm not on board with this myself. It's not something I've asked for. For me, Vanilla and Burning Crusade was pretty grindy and terrible on my end.
That's what I've heard. Yeah.
6 months to get to level 60, and now you can get to level 120 coming out. So and
you could pay for that. You could pay to get to 100.
You can pay to get to 100. It's $60.
And you have like a dope mount, right?
Yeah, I don't want to do it. So Classic is just like everything that they've improved.
Wait, I'm sorry.
The game.
What? You can pay to get to.
So like in Destiny 2, how you have that mode of light that literally just like puts you at level 30, but you have to still low light level and just.
In Destiny 1, yeah.
You could do that with World of Warcraft by paying some kind of thing. I don't know what it was.
Yeah.
You pay $100 and then
it's just called a boost.
Yeah, and then it gets you to the level cap at the time. Back in the day was 100, and then you got like a dope mount.
Yeah.
Is a mount a horse?
Or anything, or a dragon.
An animal of some sort?
My favorite one is a winged lion angel.
Yeah.
So that's...
I think I have that one.
The winged guardian?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the best mount.
Yeah.
For sure.
That is a thing.
But yeah, I'm really excited. There's a lot of cool things coming to Warcraft. that I'm super excited for, such as the new zones, the new races.
So wait, what does the vanilla server do? Like you said, it was grindy and all that stuff.
It's just back to vanilla, back
It's like
to basic.
It's like Warcraft 1.0 or something.
Before they made
So you
any
can play
improvements.
that?
Yeah.
No
Okay.
balance changes. No.
There's
like,
no. So right now, if you want to find a party for a dungeon, you say, "I want to find a party," and it randomly pairs you with people. Before, you had to wait outside the dungeon and kind of hope people came by, or like
that's
in general
pretty much
chat.
like message like who wants to party, who wants to
Wants
party.
to dungeon, and it would
Oh
take
my
like an
God.
hour to find a party, and then you wouldn't even complete the dungeon because they all sucked.
I'm
So-
imagining like Monty Python intermission music playing while you're waiting.
Yeah. So you can get to level 20 now in like an hour. And then you get a mount. Before, like I said, 6 months to 60, and you didn't get a mount till level 40. And even then it was a slow ass mount. So it sounds awful to me. I know people wanted it. I am not within that group of people who was like, I want to go back to the shit that sucked. So
That's part of my childhood. You can't say that. Blah,
I
blah.
know.
That's-
I'm
gonna
more
get
like
yelled at.
curious. Is it going to be like a separate thing you have to purchase, like a separate game, or is it like just queue into this server?
I believe it's just classic servers.
Okay.
But I could be, they didn't spend a whole lot of time explaining.
I'm curious to check it out just out of curiosity because I wasn't there, back in
Yeah.
the day. I think I joined like around,
back in the day.
I don't know, like the one right
Wrath?
before Cataclysm or something.
Wrath of the Lich
yeah,
King.
yeah, that's where I joined.
Arguably my favorite one before Legion.
yeah.
But yeah, we'll get you on there, Josh. The last big thing that they're bringing, and they're actually bringing this back before the expansion, is what's called level scaling. So now that you can get to level 120, you level up faster, obviously. So like if you're following a storyline in a low level area, you level out of that area. Eventually the quests will be worth no experience because you're too high a level. So you wouldn't be able to complete these storylines anymore that are built, beautiful storylines built into the game because you level up
You
too
can't
quickly.
smurf the.
They're not
smurf
worth
the
your
game.
time.
Right. You get nothing. You get
Yeah.
a little bit of silver, I think, which is worthless. But what they're introducing is basically backwards compatibility level scaling. So now these areas will scale with your level. So you can complete these storylines back in the original continent and stuff like that.
That's pretty cool.
So I'm really excited. I'm going to start a whole new character
I might do
when
that too.
comes out just to experience stuff that I personally didn't get to experience because I came in late.
I don't know. I'm a little bored with my content on PS4. I might have to start World of Warcraft.
Oh yeah, buddy. Now's the time. Like really, honestly, if anyone else is thinking to joining Warcraft, this last expansion was absolutely the time to do it. It is the most fun. It is the most, I think, user-friendly of all the expansions. And a lot of the mechanics and stuff that they've added to it have improved the gameplay tremendously.
Yeah.
So far, right. Yeah. And then when they introduce backwards compatibility level scaling, it's going to be
You'll be able to
Great.
appreciate it.
yeah. So that was all
cool.
the content that came out of BlizzCon.
On the top of your head, what was the favorite thing in
I was going to
BlizzCon?
say, can I talk just for a sec about my favorite couple things? They have a thing at BlizzCon called the Tavern, which is where you go in the game to play Hearthstone. And there were people, you would just sit around and they would like, hey, can I challenge you to Hearthstone? Hey, can I challenge you to Hearthstone? And it's called the Fireside. And you just got to play games with people. And like you earned a BlizzCon exclusive or a Fireside exclusive character in the game just by playing with people. So they like made it beneficial to connect, which I thought was really cool.
That's
and of
cool.
course, that's where all the cell phone chargers were because people are playing on their phones.
I'm just dreaming if they actually did that shit with like Pokemon. Oh, you're going to
man.
a gym. You battle people. Oh my! And after 5 wins, you get a fucking gym badge. Oh my! Anyways,
We made Nate. Shout out to Nate again. Nate and I made a friend, Lana, who sat next to us during the opening ceremony, and she was just by herself. And she was
shout out
like,
to Lana.
"Can I hang out with you guys?" We were like, "Do you want to hang out with us?" And we ended up
are
hanging
you
out.
sure?
We hung out with her for 2 days. We did everything
Nice.
together. It was awesome. Like the
That's
community
awesome.
there is insane. I've never seen something like that.
I think I'm really gonna have to go next year.
Oh yeah, dude, we're gonna all go
We'll
next year. It's gonna be
go
great.
together.
But my
me
favorite
blitzed
moment,
off my mind.
my favorite moment, real quick, in the tavern, you can challenge a developer to Hearthstone.
Oh,
game,
man.
And they put it up on the TVs, and Nate did it, and it was not to like stroke his ego at all, but people were doing it all day.
I'll stroke his ego.
And when
and
he
more than
played, a crowd gathered because the game was so good. And before there was nobody, and by the end of the game, there was like 30 people watching.
That's
Nice.
dope.
And it was really cool to see because this game was so back and forth. And, the developer would get a leg up on him, and then Nate would get a leg up on the developer. And when Nate would get the leg up, the developer didn't get furious. He would like smile and like be overjoyed that the thing he helped create was like working so well. And Nate ended up winning, and he got a round of applause from everybody. It was
Oh man, that's awesome.
It was my favorite moment by far.
Just to explain this Nate character, he is this giant 6'7"
Yeah.
black brother with a giant beard.
Yeah.
Like, if I saw him like carrying a controller, and I told this to his face, I would run because he looks like he looks like one of those guys who's like, oh my god, he looks like he does nothing but play this game.
It was the easiest. He was the easiest thing to keep track of at BlizzCon because you would just you'd be looking for people. You're like, oh, just look over everyone's heads, and you would just see this man with this giant beard. And you're like, oh, there he is, 500 feet away across the room.
And then he would hug you.
Yeah. So that was my favorite. That, and I got to see my favorite podcast live, which was cool. The Instance. I got to see them live.
Shout out to
It was
them.
Nice.
That was gonna be. We didn't go to BlizzCon.
I know.
Yeah, that's weird.
Douche.
I know.
Maybe someday.
Yeah.
Ooh.
That'd be cool. I'd be down with that. But yeah, that was in a nutshell, very quickly as a bonus episode. What I saw at BlizzCon, do yourself a favor, go to Blizzard, check out the new stuff coming up. Hit me up on Battle.net if you can, and we'll play some games. I think that's
Do it.
Yeah.
pretty exciting stuff.
I'm looking forward to seeing Moira.
Yeah, Moira's going to be great.
Awesome.
Thanks for letting me do this, guys. I'm really
welcome.
happy
Yeah.
about it.
You're welcome, Corey.
And as always,
Nerd on.
Ending broadcast.